Another begins in November.
10 News reporter Yvonne Thomas is live to explain why you will see less campaign signs too. Yvonne?
Russell, Heather, good morning. You know, just a few days ago, we saw campaign signs all across East Tennessee about this campaign. But right now, a lot of those signs are already gone and more will be leaving in just a few days. That's according to Tennessee law. And it depends on where you live and where those signs are. Now, in Knox County, candidates in a previous election must collect their signs and posters within 3 weeks after the election. But in places like Maryville, candidates must remove signs within 3 days after the election. Now, many signs and posters will come down in some areas, but several signs may stay up for some candidates around East Tennessee. Now, thanks to the Tennessee Freedom of Speech Act, no one can tell you when to take down your political sign if it is on your private property. And as we enter into this new voting season in November, here's a list of things to keep in mind. In Knoxville and in many other cities, signs cannot be in the public right-of-way, and also you cannot post signs on public property like schools, and you cannot hang signs on public utility poles. But for now, we'll send things back over to you.
Thank you.
Okay, we want to go now to meet